Morning everyone. Welcome back to another video. This time coming to you from the parking lot, or the pay to park lot at the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. Because destination today a little bit further away than normal. And instead of driving for 4.5 days, we're going to make it there in about 4.5 hours. It's currently 5:30 in the morning. I just got my truck parked, got my Whataburger for breakfast, and walking to the shuttle pickup so we can make our way to the terminal. Well, for any keen-eyed folks, you might have seen that we flew from DFW to Seattle today. And the reason why is here in this garage, just outside of Wenatchee, Washington. So on top of a flight 3/4 of the way across the country, now we drove halfway across the state of Washington to get where we're at. And this is it. I don't know if I can back up far enough to get it all in the wide angle lens. But this is what they call a Thunder car at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. It's a Chevrolet Malibu owned by my good friend Eddie Jones, and this Saturday he's running a 60-lap main event for a good chunk of change, and he's gracious enough to let me drive his car during the Friday night test session before the race on Saturday. So flew all the way to Washington to come play a crew guy, and I get to turn some laps in an asphalt stock car, so that ought to be a pretty good time.
Oh, let him get something. No, you should not be what you do.
So tell us, Eddie, one more time, what's so frustrating about this? He doesn't like the vice grips on his trailer.
We don't have a damn handle is what we don't have.
That'll make the B-roll.
Wait, let me introduce you to the senior special trailer handle. Love you, Dad. God damn it. God damn it.
And there goes the monetization. we are, the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval in East Wenatchee, Washington. One of the most spectacular views at any facility I've ever been to in my life. This quarter-mile high-bank oval opened in 1970, and they run seasonally from April to September every year. Be sure to find them on Facebook at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. So let me preface this next part by saying I've driven a lot of things. I've driven drag cars, I've driven dirt oval race cars, I've even driven monster trucks, but I have never driven a purpose-built short track asphalt car before, especially not one owned by one of my best friends whom had only had about 50 laps on a prior test day with it. I was not originally supposed to be the first one in the car. We were going to put Eddie's dad in it, who drove for over 20 years, despite having been almost 20 years since he's been in a race car. However, he didn't get off work in time, so the decision was made to just send me out first and see how I did. So I started off at a slow trot, trying to get a feel for the car, how it steers, how the brakes work, and slowly picked up the pace as I went. So it's going to start off a little bit slow as I get a feel for the car, but enjoy this next part of the video of my first laps ever on a pavement short track. as we pull back into the pit area, you can see the old guy getting suited up and putting the helmet on. That's Eddie Jones Sr., or as the locals from Wenatchee will remember him as Fast Eddie Jones. He and Eddie got to jaw jacking back and forth, and Senior said he was going to find the limits of the car, and we decided to put him in at second here on the test day, and he definitely taught the tires how to scream for mercy. Hour and a half into the test and tune here on Friday night at Wenatchee, and Eddie has done the amazing job of getting black flagged because transmission fluid doesn't want to stay in the car very well. It survived me and Senior, but not him. And now we send Senior on a parts run with the spare crew guy.
Now, you want to know why it didn't survive them? They weren't driving the damn thing hard enough. So I'm about half a second faster than either of them.
Oh, I'm not going to try to tell you I was fast.
But man, it was fun. That bar change. Senior changed the bar up a little bit, and we got it freed up. Decided to put the new tires on it. But we're not going to be able to do that tonight. We'll have to do it tomorrow, and we'll be able to see.
All clear. been a pretty hectic afternoon here at Wenatchee. Eddie went out first practice. Car looked pretty good. Still had a little bit of issue with a transmission leak that we luckily found the source of and got it all cleaned up. Didn't have any issues with leakage in the second practice session or his qualifying run. He's currently timed in 11th out of, I believe, 18 cars in the field tonight. Sorry, had to cut that bit kind of short. It got kind of loud where I was walking. Anyway, on our way back down to the pit area, going to make some final adjustments, sit and watch some heat races and some lower class, or some of the other class main events, and we'll bring you the feature here shortly.
Don't ever do it again. Whatever the fuck we did to that setup, don't ever do it again. That was a handful, bro.
So now after the Thunder Car A feature, we never really introduced you to Eddie. We've been following him around, and you've seen him a couple times in this video, but we never actually did an introduction with him like I said we were going to do back in his dad's garage on Thursday.
Yeah. It's just Saturday night now.
It's just Saturday night, and the video is mostly over. So 60 laps flag to flag. I mean, 57 for you, 3 laps down, but no new dents. And the only thing really pissed off is the transmission, man. I think that's a good night of racing. So something else to mention, this is Eddie's first actual race night in competition. He's grown up here, but he's never actually run an A feature here.
Yeah, I've never ran up here, especially under the lights. It was a completely different experience. We got the car freer than I wanted. I mean, we had to throw something big at it just to try to find speed, and it's a learning curve. We're getting it better. We've made every adjustment we've made has gotten this car better every time. You know, I can't thank Senior enough for everything that he's doing, and Andrew for all the work he's done on our transmission. Yeah, I'm sure he'll get into that on the video. But
just leak prevention. I'm not that special.
You know, we were running good with a couple of the guys that were around our, weight class, we'll say. But just got hung out to dry. It was just bad timing with the leaders.
Attention in the pits, attention in the pits. Please bring your transponders to the pit office, please. Transponders
wait a
to
second.
the pit
They got the
office.
PA going.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's a lot better than copyrighted music, I guess.
Yeah, a lot better. But we just finished 12th. I mean, we dropped 2 spots, took big swings at the setup, and, we learned. It ultimately a good night of racing. The car's in one piece. Debatable with that transmission, but
it's not happy, but it's in one piece.
Yeah, it didn't blow up on us.
It doesn't have any fluid in it anymore, really, I don't think. And I mean, the car's never going to rust.
No, it's never going to rust. The other thing is, first time with a receiver on that. I really want to thank WVSO and their race control. They do a wonderful job up here. This is a world-class organization, and I'm happy we're going to be racing here this season. Hopefully we're going to get radios pretty quick, and Senior will have the receiver. But it's one of those that things just didn't go our way tonight, but it's all up from here.
I don't know if I'd say it didn't go our way, man. I mean, the whole deal was go out, run the race, finish the race.
So the thing is we achieved both goals today. And first goal was to not qualify last. Second goal was to finish the race. And Tika's goal was to not put any marks on the car. And we did all 3. So the wife's happy, and we survived the first outing.
Happy wife, happy life. There's all the decal work, and she didn't want to have to do them again.
Yep, pretty much.
Well, you heard it here, and now, see, we get to load this thing up, and we got to go back to your place. You've got a bowling tournament in the morning, and I have to hitch a ride all the way to Seattle to fly home tomorrow.
Yeah, it's been a long couple days, so I'm sure Andrew will talk more about that in the vlog. But hey, you guys, thank you for being on this ride with us. It was definitely a fun one.
back at DFW, caught the shuttle over to the parking spot, the big old lot you got to pay for, and navigating up and down the aisles, trying to find my big truck down at the end. And we still got just a touch over an hour to get home. Probably gonna go hit up Whataburger or Taco Bell, whichever one I see first, because American Airlines had a fantastic flight for me on the way back, but drink service and Biscoff cookies, man, that just don't cut it no more. And just made it to the end of the line, and there she is. Let's get loaded up and go find some food. Well, it's now Monday morning, and I was unable to come up with an intelligible outro for this last night. I was extremely tired. Did end up stopping and getting Taco Bell on the way home, so did eat, got some sleep, and now I can think a little more clearly on how to end this video. First off, I want to thank Eddie, Tika, Ed Sr., all the kids, everybody there up in Washington for the hospitality, and Eddie trusted me with his brand new race car that he hadn't even raced yet. Maybe I'll just try to make that part of the channel, and we'll try to check off all the motorsports side quests and try to drive something different as often as we possibly can. If you've made it all the way to this part of the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see some more. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.